In this video blog, we're going to talk about Marxism in the job crisis, in a context where millennials are giving up their jobs in the USA because of the discouragement of the new generations.
Our thesis is that millennials are giving up their jobs and are looking for modern objectives, such as money, new prestations, and other things like that, even though the reality is postmodern, causing a clash of objectives and ideologies. My first argument is that after analyzing the situation of millennials in the US, I realized that many elements of Marxism theory were present, such as the superstructure and class warfare, of which I think superstructure seemed to take a bigger part in this conflict, as it's very present in the conflict, such as social movements seeking equity and equality of choice. Another important factor is how young people cling to modern ideas, even if the reality of nowadays is postmodern. A good example of this can be seen in their goals, which are better pay, better benefits, and other things like that. Today, young people have completely forgotten that they live in a postmodern world and reality, and they cling to old ideas of a bygone era.
As a counterargument, after having heard what you mentioned about young people living a postmodernist present and that they are living aside the fundamentals of modernism, I have to say that I do not agree. First of all, I think that millennials do not leave their job because they are in a postmodernist framework, but because they feel incompetent and seek to undertake or change to a more versatile job. Young people are also aware of the great importance of the superstructure, since they know that if they do not work, they do not eat. You also talk about the fact that millennials completely forgot modernism. However, that does not make much sense, because if we remember, the main foundations of modernism are that modernism was characterized by the break with the rules and what is considered traditional, both in religious matters and political as well as social. This means that today's young people do not give up their jobs because they live in a postmodernism, but instead seek to work in something out of the ordinary and not very boring. In addition to the fact that these young people seek radical changes in how the world works, both politically, economically, and socially.
I agree that the superstructure is a very important part of all societies, but I think this conflict, it takes on a greater part, because the struggle of these millennials is fundamentally based on social conflicts, such as class warfare and other social movements. However, millennials are not aware of these concepts and are limited to pursuing modern rather than postmodern goals, like the ones I mentioned before, thus, in a way, denying the reality in which they live. As a conclusion, I would like to say that these conflicts we talk about are present in various forms, like the clash of modernism and postmodernism in a Marxist way. This can be seen represented in objectives, such as the ones that I said before, and what young people seek. I think this is important because young people nowadays seek like objectives of a forgotten era, the modern era, instead of the postmodern era. This has caused a lot of struggle and, not well-being, since if we chase objectives that are forgotten, we won't be able to get them.
To conclude, I want to say that it's very important the superstructure, since it moves all the economy of the world. Also, the young generations are living in a postmodernist framework because they are living aside the foundations of modernism. So they are giving up their jobs because of that. And this is everything. Thank you, teacher. This is our project of philosophy thinking. Bye.